Welcome back, everybody, for another AI deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at some recent developments in AI. Everything from like the financial challenges that these big companies are facing to some of the cool things that are coming out, like AI being used in fields you wouldn't really expect. We're even going to be talking about robot chemists.
It does seem like the AI world is changing really fast.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
seeing these huge investments, obviously some big innovations, but also a bunch of new questions and challenges.
Definitely. Speaking of big investments, though, let's start by talking about OpenAI. So their GPT-5 project, codenamed Orion, has been all over the news. But not really for the right reasons. It seems like they're running into big delays and going way over budget. Some people are saying that just one training session could end up costing $500 million.
That's a crazy amount of money. It shows you how complicated these new AI models are. One of the biggest issues seems to be that they need so much data. To train these models, it takes a ton of good quality data, and getting all that data and processing it costs a lot.
So is that going to make it harder for smaller companies to get into AI? If it costs that much to train these models, is that going to mean only the huge companies can do it? And wouldn't that hurt innovation because there would be less different ideas?
I think that's a really good point. It definitely shows that we need more people working together and sharing resources in the AI community. We might even need to look at other ways to build AI, ways that don't need so much data.
That's an interesting idea. But, even with these challenges, OpenAI has been able to show us some cool stuff that can be done with all that money. They just announced these new reasoning models called O3 and O3 Mini, and they're designed to be really good at complex problem solving and coding and even like advanced math.
What I find really impressive is how they can think logically. I mean, they can link together all these complex ideas and steps. It's not like they're just spitting out information or following some instructions that were already programmed. It's more like they're figuring things out on their own.
It's almost like they're developing their own logic, which is kind of cool, but also a little bit creepy. But let's step away from these billion-dollar AI models for a minute and talk about how this tech is being used in more down-to-earth ways.
Okay, sure. What were you thinking of?
Well, did you hear about how AI is helping to bring back dying coral reefs? Sounds kind of crazy, right?
I did hear a bit about that. It sounds like it could really work because AI is so good at looking at huge amounts of data and seeing patterns that we might miss.
Yeah, exactly. Scientists are using AI to figure out the best conditions for coral to grow in. They're even using AI drones to keep track of the progress.
It just shows you how powerful AI can be when we use it to help the environment. By combining what humans know with AI's ability to analyze data, we can come up with much better ways to protect our planet.
It's like AI is giving us another shot to do things right this time, to learn from our mistakes and create a future where we're not destroying the planet.
Hopefully we can do that. And it's not just about the environment. AI can do this kind of analysis and personalization in other areas too, like education.
Oh, you mean AI-powered education, where you have a learning platform that's like customized for each person.
That's it. Imagine a system that can look at how you learn best and then give you exactly what you need. It could totally change how we learn new things and skills.
Like having your own personal tutor 24/7.
That's a pretty cool way to think about it. But we also need to be careful. We don't want people to become too dependent on AI and lose the ability to think for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. AI should help us learn, not replace learning altogether.
Definitely. We have to find the right balance between using this technology and making sure people still learn how to think creatively and critically.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears again and talk about another area where AI is making a big impact. Scientific research. Did you know that Google's DeepMind has made an AI system that can actually design proteins?
Proteins. Wait, the building blocks of life? Wow, that's incredible. What does that even mean for us?
Think about it this way. AI could make custom proteins that could attack specific diseases. That's like personalized medicine that's designed for your exact DNA.
That's a game changer. It could completely transform healthcare.
Imagine a world where we treat diseases at their core, using these AI-designed proteins to get rid of the source of the illness. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's becoming real.
That raises a big question, though. If AI can design proteins, will we even need scientists in the future? Could this actually mean people lose their jobs?
It's a good question, and something we need to think about. But I think it's more likely that AI will be a tool for scientists. It can take care of the boring and repetitive stuff, and then scientists can focus on the more creative and challenging parts of their work.
I hope you're right. It would be a real shame if AI ended up limiting human creativity.
For sure. And speaking of AI doing things that humans used to do, did you hear about the robot scientists? Researchers have built robots that can do all sorts of chemistry experiments. They can analyze the results and even learn from their mistakes, all by themselves.
Robot scientist, that sounds straight out of a movie, but you're serious, right?
Oh yeah, totally real. They're already being used in labs all over the world. They're helping to speed up scientific discoveries, which could lead to breakthroughs in things like medicine materials, science, and energy.
Wow, it's hard to believe we're at a point where machines can do science experiments and learn and adapt all on their own.
It really makes you wonder what role humans will play in science in the future. If robots can do it all, will humans become obsolete, or will we find new ways to contribute? It's something to think about as we head into part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll be looking at the ethical side of all this.
It seems like the more powerful AI gets, the more ethical questions come up. And it's something we need to be talking about all the time, especially as this technology becomes a bigger part of our lives.
It's like we're trying to balance on a really thin line. On one side, there's all this potential for AI to solve huge problems. But on the other side, there's the risk that it could be used in the wrong way or have unintended consequences.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the biggest ethical problems we have right now is bias in AI systems.
We've definitely seen a lot of that, haven't we? Like facial recognition software that has trouble recognizing people of color, or algorithms that are supposed to help with hiring but end up being biased against women.
And those biases come from the data that the AI is trained on. If the data itself has biases, then the AI will learn those biases and even make them worse, which could lead to unfair decisions.
It just shows that AI is a reflection of us, even the bad parts. And if we're not careful, we could end up creating a world where AI actually makes inequality worse.
It's not just about the data either. It's also about the people who are building these AI systems. They need to come from diverse backgrounds and represent the people who will be using the AI.
Otherwise, you're going to have blind spots.
Yeah.
Things that the developers just didn't think about because they don't have the same experiences as other people.
Right. We need people with different perspectives and experiences at every step of the way. From collecting the data to designing the algorithms to testing and using the AI.
Yeah, diversity is so important. It's not just something you check off a list. It's essential for making sure that AI is fair and benefits everyone.
And another big ethical issue that people don't always think about is data privacy. With all these AI systems collecting so much personal information, how do we protect our privacy?
It's tricky, right? You want AI to have enough data to work well, but you don't want that data to be misused.
Exactly. And it's not just about keeping data safe from hackers, it's also about who owns the data and how it's used.
Yeah, more and more people are worried that they're losing control of their own data. Like companies are just taking it and using it without even asking.
That brings up some really important questions, like who benefits from all this data? Who gets to decide how it's used? And how do we make sure that people are using our data responsibly?
We need to be asking these questions and demanding answers because AI is getting more and more integrated into our lives, so the stakes are only going to get higher.
And we can't forget about the potential for AI to be used for bad things. We've already seen people using AI to create deepfakes and spread misinformation. And there's even talk about AI being used to make autonomous weapons.
It's scary to think about because any technology can be used for good or bad. AI is no different.
AI is powerful, so we need to be aware of the risks and put protections in place.
That means having open and honest discussions about the ethics of AI. We need to get a lot of different people involved, and we need to make clear rules and guidelines for how AI is developed and used.
We need to be proactive, not just react after something bad happens. We need to start talking about the ethics of AI now.
It's time to move past all the hype and excitement about AI and start having some tough conversations about the potential downsides.
And we need to be willing to ask some hard questions, like what could happen that we didn't expect? What are the limits of how we should use AI? And how do we make sure that it benefits all of humanity, not just a few people?
These are tough questions, but we can't ignore them. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to make sure that it's a future we want to live in.
A future where humans are still in control, where AI is a tool we use for good, not something that replaces our values and judgment.
I like that. Now, I know we've talked about a lot in this deep dive, but I want to leave you with this thought. The future of AI isn't set in stone. We're all creating it together through the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the things we do. So as we wrap up this AI deep dive, I bet some of you are wondering what you can actually do about all this. It can feel kind of overwhelming, right?
Yeah, I get that. But remember, the future of AI isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we're all making together through the choices we make and the actions we take.
I like that. We're not just watching this happen, we're actually part of it.
Right. And there are things we can all do to be a part of it in a good way. The first thing is to just learn more about AI. The more you understand how it works, the better you'll be able to make good decisions about it.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right?
Exactly. And once you've learned more, you can support organizations that are trying to make sure AI is developed ethically. There are a lot of great groups out there fighting for things like data privacy, fairness, and responsible innovation.
And don't forget that you have a voice too. You can contact your elected officials or talk about these issues online.
Yeah, definitely make your voice heard. Let your representatives know that you care about this stuff. The more people who speak up, the more likely it is that something will change.
So it sounds like we all have a responsibility to not only learn about AI,
Yeah.
but also to get involved and help shape its future.
Exactly. The future of AI isn't some set path. It's a path we're all making together, one step at a time.
That's a powerful thought. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just remember that every little bit helps. Every voice matters.
Yeah, it's easy to think that one person can't make a difference, but that's not true at all. Change starts with individuals.
Well said. So to everyone listening, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep pushing for an AI future that benefits everyone.
And don't forget to join the conversation online. Follow us at AI for the People, share your thoughts, and connect with other people who care about this.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you learned something new and that you feel inspired to be a part of shaping this incredible technology.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future of AI is in your hands.